there may not be many of you. This isn't a show, and we welcome you. Ford, Sue's our esteemed guest. Once again, my name is Elton Judah McNeil. Today we're going to talk about what is a meme in 2017. That rhymes.
That does. We were just looking at memes. I mean, that kind of kicks it off, even without even preparing. We were sharing memes without even thinking about it.
Well, and really, I mean, this
to their power.
This is the age of memes, right? I mean, I think I've talked to you before. I think I've seen articles about how Trump was elected because of the meme generation.
I definitely think that. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
It's the age of social media where it's no longer. We shouldn't say a soundbite. Like the idea of a soundbite is irrelevant now. Is old. Now it's a meme, not a soundbite. A meme.
So I'd asked that this guy Angad Chaudhry, who lives in Delhi. And he's the one who, I think I've mentioned him to you before, but I interviewed him. I've never actually released the interview. It was going to be my first episode of the Surfing Violinist podcast, which I never released. But I was asking him questions about, he predicted a Trump win a couple months ahead of time as an Indian, and we're talking about a global media that, everybody was just like, ha ha ha, still laughing about it the night before.
Yeah.
And this guy was predicting it, and he was saying, no, it's going to happen. You have no idea what's coming. And, of course, he was right. And I asked him, well, how did you know? And he's like, well, I just started going. He started going to 4chan, like just probing all the dark corners of the web. And what he found there, while Hillary is talking about racist frogs, he was able to see past see past the obvious racism of the trolls, and realize that what he called it a visual language, and I think that's what memes are. It's there's so much irony, there's so much saying one thing but meaning another thing. There's a lot of poetry actually in what is said, and so in political discourse, we've gotten accustomed to, it's all misinformation anyway. And we've been misinformed so much for the past 100 years through all forms of the media that memes are kind of like, ironically, just, they are the rock star, version. It really is the rock star culture, middle finger to the establishment. Music used to be that. MTV used to be that, and now memes are that.
Right.
Memes really are just like, but in a way, I think they're actually much more intelligent than your typical rock star.
Well, they can be multi-layered. I mean, like a rock song.
Like a rock song, but generally, what happens with the rock song is it it catapults someone into a rock career, which then they just become part of the establishment. I think with memes, I think what has ended up happening is a lot of these people are just like, we don't want to be part of your establishment.
Right.
It's that Andy Sandberg joke. I'm not a part of your system.
I threw it on the ground. What you think I'm stupid? I'm not a part of your system.
But for real, no, we don't want to be. We don't want to move to a big city. We want to stay here. Like, we have access to all this stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
So why would I want to go to overcrowded city and just sit here in my hometown and and it's that access to communities all around the world. And that's what's so ludicrous about Hillary calling Pepe a racist Nazi frog.
Yeah.
It's like, they're Indian guys sharing it. They're Malaysian guys sharing it. There are gals all over the world sharing it. Like, this is not a monochromatic sort of revolt against a very, what is monoclass is the urban intellectual elite political, expectations that say that you have to have a newspaper, you have to have a soundbite, you have to have a talking point, you have to have a headline, you have to have a marketing campaign, you have to have a political action committee, all these sorts of things.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
characterized.
the specific recipe that they require, and that they control, right, and that they do the best, and they're experts at. But
From the church to the state
yeah.
to academia to corporations, like it's all this. I mean, everywhere I go, it's the same language, just interpreted into the specific cultural. It's the same language, and it's basically a program. Like, this is what we want to do,
right?
And they don't even realize how often they sabotage themselves. I mean, this is why, you know, the media is shooting themselves in the foot to this day. I mean, as we speak, you know, I would make fun of the church for being like 10, 15 years behind. Yeah. Sometimes I make fun of Bollywood when we're in India. Like, oh, wow, yeah, that's great, guys. You're ripping off a movie from 20 years ago. But like, now that's what the media is. Yeah. Like in the connected, you know, hubs of culture for the last century. You know, New York, LA, well, Chicago even, and London, you know, just all these places that are like the hubs of everything, and they're so far behind. I mean, everyone in London is making fun of Brexit. Oh, not going to happen. Yeah. The memes won. And I think it's just because it is a shorthand that is, like you said, multi-layered. And there's a sort of mythology to it. You know?
Right. It does have a mythos that you sort of have to adhere to. A lot of it has to do with sarcasm, right? Like, you really can't, I mean, the layers have to do with tone, right? Usually tone, like sarcasm. I really enjoy, I think we've talked about this before, but I really enjoy going on Reddit and just reading the comments after these things. The meme type comments, just like a one sentence thing. I think one time it was, I think it was like, I don't know if I talked to you about this, but it was a picture, somebody had edited it, and instead of the comments all being about the picture, somebody had mentioned, oh, wait, did you take it with permission or not? Should I get the pitchforks? And from that, like, it was all about pitchforks, you know, about selling pitchforks, about whether pitchforks are better than torches, and whether torches and pitchforks always have to be together, you know, all this like pseudo-intellectualism that's totally sarcastic, making fun of itself, making fun of the whole critical, you know, world of criticism, that kind of thing. So
I think memes are that, like on Reddit, instead of having like a writing room for a sitcom where, you know, 10 guys and gals sit around a table and try to come up with jokes for all day. These people come up with funnier stuff in 5 minutes. 5 minutes on Reddit, you know, just shooting the crap, you know, like just talking out their butt, right? And there's, you know, and there you go. You got a whole script for a movie in one Reddit thread.
What does it mean for our society that we're basically being trained, almost like I see us as gerbils being trained, all trained with social media to be such great little writers, you know? And if you're not, you feel bad. You go on Reddit and you're like, I'm not as good as these people.
Not as funny as these people.
Yeah.
I think I mean, the shelf life on it, like at a certain point, like the irony eats itself. I remember there was a Sprite commercial way back in the day where it's like Sprite was poking fun at themselves. Like every time, I can't remember the basketball player, but every time he says Sprite, like he gets money or something like that. It's like, haha.
Get thirsty, I reach for Sprite. You see, Sprite refreshes me like nothing else because it's the only drink with that cool.
Like there's only so meta you can get. You know, at a certain point, meta will eat itself, and you just kind of have to realize, oh, well, we still like story, we still like character, we still like